me get the recording on. There we go. All right, everybody. How's it going this evening?
Hello, hello.
Ugh. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a bit of a somber evening here, in Pittsburgh. It's we've had it's been a rough 2 days. Um, we were just talking about it. Oh Jesus, like and this is a good couple minutes segue into some time here, like a good couple minute talk point. Huh. Because there hasn't been too much coming out of Comics Pro yet, mostly because like the bigger part of the meeting comes out tomorrow. Um, Although like the Marvel stuff happened today, which really wasn't much. It's mostly just look, they're doing villains, surprise. Hey, not that we didn't already know that. But usually the Marvel stuff at Comics Pro isn't something we already don't know. Um, but so yeah, so Pittsburgh lost some extremely honorable honorable gentlemen this year. This week.
Mhm.
Um, and Justin, you can talk about them.
Um, well, um,
You're more the sports guy than I am, so
true. Well, for those who, follow, you may know Mike Lang was he was the Myron Cope of hockey in Pittsburgh.
yeah.
He had, he had those sayings that were so big, especially during the Mario and Yager years,
Oh yeah,
you know,
like call Arnold Slick from Turtle Creek.
yeah,
Um,
out Loretta.
the Lookout Loretta.
Elvis has left the
Elvis has left the building. Um,
those things were so big that they actually made T-shirts because I remember
yeah.
the T-shirt. So
Oh
I
yeah,
was actually looking up to see if I could find all the Mike Lang stuff, at least on Macari, were gone. They were
yeah,
sold.
yeah.
So,
I don't doubt that at all.
and then one of our local news guys from the KDKA Channel 2 local news,
Yeah,
John Burnett, passed away this evening.
yeah.
I didn't think he was that old, but
How
apparently
old was he?
I couldn't find like
Because I was
I
gonna say,
couldn't
because Lang was like 70s. He was
yeah, the
76,
70s. Yeah.
right?
I
Yeah.
imagine Burnett had to be in his 60s.
Yeah,
It's
he couldn't have been much younger than
yeah,
Lang. Like they both had to be maybe like he maybe had to be in his 70s at best. Like
yeah,
at oldest. At
just sad.
oldest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still
Yeah.
sad because these are guys I grew up
Yeah.
watching, listening to,
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
your day. And for those who are a little too young to realize that, you'll start hearing it when all of a sudden your favorite YouTubers start dying. So, or your
Yeah.
podcasters start, you know, eh, these guys were doing this stuff longer before, I was born even. So, or I
Yeah.
was so young that, I didn't appreciate them until I was old enough to listen to radio and watch
Yeah.
TV, like normal news TV.
Yeah. Well, I
Be-
mean, like when Myron Cope died, it was like it
yeah.
was huge, huge in this area. Like, and not even just this area, but like in Steelers Nation, which is the biggest. Like, not to toot our own horn from Pittsburgh, but like the Steelers have the biggest, like, or one of the biggest football
Mhm.
followings in the country, or sports followings, period, in the country.
I think the Penguins
Um,
have as well. It definitely put the
yeah, yeah, yeah. Penguins teams, or I'm sorry, Pittsburgh's teams in general are are massively followed around the world.
maybe
Um,
nobody that was like young enough to remember like anything from the 70s. It's,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard to have a fan base when you win anything.
Right, right.
So I mean, but it's a bit of a sad day, definitely. Sad
Yeah.
couple. So let's
What's up, Marvin?
hopefully
Marvin's in the
things get a
chat.
little bit better, you know. That's
Yeah, but yeah, I was very, very sad when I saw the Mike Lang news. My friend sent that to me at like, oh man, it had to be close to midnight last night, and I was just like, no. I was like, you're lying. I was like, I was like, shut the fuck up.
yeah. I was gonna
I was
say
like,
he was just like talking and stuff not long ago too.
yeah.
He
I think he had like, I think they said he had some kind of
cancer or
like
something.
medical something. Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was cancer or some kind of medical issue. Um,
Just,
that kind of thing.
it's
Huh.
I know it's not a part of the nerd community, but it's it still feel like the same thing if Jim Lee passed or Todd McFarlane passed. It's
Well, it's like when Neil Adams passed,
mm,
and
Stan Lee.
everybody came out and Stan Lee. Yeah, it's like when all those guys passed, and like that's kind of how it feels. When those kind of guys pass away, it's very similar. Like it's a very similar thing.
It's an end of an era.
Yeah.
So you know,
Huh. It does. It marks it mark that's a great way to say it. It marks an end of an era.
actually, speaking of that, yeah, I was checking out Happy Valley Con and who's all going to be there. You know, I wanted to check out because we usually like to see who's coming. Uh, we
Yeah.
we got a couple of artists here that you might want to go see them before they you know.
If you want to rattle off that list, that'd be great because I did not actually check that out.
We got Scott Hanna,
Okay. Yep. Inker Galore, who works with John Romita Jr. a lot.
Brian Middleton,
Oh, nice. Good
Kevin
guy.
Conrad.
Kevin Conrad. Yep. Yep. I knew Kevin Conrad was coming because him and Koi Pham did the Nightwing variant that they did for the show.
Our buddy Wayne Fauci,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mark
Wayne
McKenna,
for show.
uh,
Who?
Mark McKenna.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah, he's a East Side Eastern PA guy.
Mhm. We got Jose Porro,
Okay.
Rags Morales,
Nice. Man, I should dig out my Amory Wars. He did the first volume, I think, of Amory Wars.
here's the legend that everybody should. You have to talk to this gentleman and get an autograph. Is Al Milgram.
Yeah. Yeah, Al's a nice dude.
He's one of the last.
So
He's one of the last old schoolers that does the con scene on a
yeah.
consistent. So yeah,
Yeah, Al's a nice dude. I really like Al.
we got Mr. Keith Williams. He's awesome.
Cool.
I met him last year. He. I talked to him for a good 45 minutes last. He is entertaining as hell. He's best known for his comic strip work on the Phantom. He did
Yep.
a comic strip. Uh, is it Koi
Koi
Fam?
fan. Hmm.
He's
He
there.
just he did the that second Ninja Turtle Ronin book. Like the middle one. Like
Mhm.
the number two.
Yeah,
He also does some Star Wars stuff.
yeah. They say he did a lot of. Let's see, Mighty Avengers, X-Men Legacy, Scarlet Spider, Spider-Man, Daredevil, Chaos
Yep.
War, Incredible Hercules, Gambit.
He does a lot of covers.
Yeah, Cyberforce. He did
Yep.
Cyber, and he is a uh Pencil University of Pennsylvania alum
Yep.
too. I did not know that.
He's from Philly, I think. Like
Yeah.
actually from Philly.
Yeah, but that's basically all the artists. Now, celebrity wise, it's if you guys are into the voice actors, we got James Ur Urbanic
Yep.
did the voice for Mr. Dr. Venture.
Yep.
Oh, yay. Yeah, Dr. Venture. We got John Allen, who is Mr. Poopy Butthole himself.
Mr. Poopy Butthole.
Yep. And
Man.
this one kind of I forgot he did the voice of Bullock from Batman Adventures. Is Bobby Costanzo.
Mhm.
He was Harvey Bullock in Batman Adventures. He also was the Philoctetes in the Hercules animated series.
That, I don't think you said that name right.
Costanzo?
No, no, no. I don't think you said its character right.
Oh, well, it says Philoctetes. I don't think that's much better.
Yeah, whatever. That's fine.
The little horn dude that was Hercules's trainer, basically.
Oh, that guy.
Yes.
Phil. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. They just kept calling him Phil, but yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I know who you know mean now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this one kind of funny for all you Pokemon fans out there. Michael Hygeny. He did the original voice for over 40 of the Pokemon characters in the original series.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I was like, that's gonna get the Pokemon people, you know. I guess he
Yeah,
also did work with Kirby and Sonic too, the
that's
video game
cool.
voices and stuff. Yeah, it's a nice little
Yeah, they rounded it out pretty well.
yeah, that's a nice balance. That's a
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. So, um, if you guys haven't checked out our show stuff though, we did start announcing people for us. So you can buy your tickets for Three Rivers Comic Con, by the way. Just you can do that right now. You can go to our website. We have Ali Garza coming up, DJ Kaufman, George Broderick, Greg Wilson, Howard Bender, Pat and Shelley Brock or Block, who have not been to the show in a long time. They worked on Disney, Donald Duck stuff. Pat Oliver on Friends, S.A. Chick, Sammy Castillo, and Wayne Foucher have all been confirmed so far. We have some cosplay guests like Samurai Jill, Sarah Specter, Captain Cash. Then we have a ton of local artists. Like our artist alley is actually pretty full, and we have a ton of vendors. And there is still space available. So if you are looking to get some space and sell your wares, hook us up. We're
Mhm.
also doing a 1 day mini show in Monroeville with the guys at Time Space Toys. You can go to timespacetoys.com or Space Time. I think it's timespacetoys.com. And you can actually just click Pittsburgh Comics and Collectibles show off their website, and you can buy your space off there. That is April 13th. So week before Easter. It's gonna be a good time. All right. Well, that's
Oh, do you want to bring up the last minute for getting uh
oh
autographs?
yeah. So well, yeah, I guess you have till Sunday
Yep.
if you're in one of the PA stores
Yep.
to drop off a book by Jimmy Palmiotti or Amanda Connor, because Big Boss Todd is doing a East Coast buying tour
Mhm.
throughout the month of March mostly, and part of the month of April. And which part of that is he is basically driving all over the East Coast, and he's gonna have lunch with Jimmy and Amanda. So he is personally going to take your stuff and drive it to them. And while they're having lunch, they're just going to sign all this stuff. So you bring it to any of the NDC stores, except for Ohio. You've missed your opportunity at this point. Uh, because no one's there to get it to Todd to take it to them. You need to bring it to one of the stores in a bag and a board with no tape because we don't want to accidentally damage your book. Um, and it's $5 per book. Doesn't matter how many signatures. So if you want both signatures or just one, cool. Doesn't matter. We'll mark it. We have a little slip paper that we're gonna slide behind the bag or the board. It's gonna be cool. Give you a little receipt. Make sure everything's noted. Um, $5 plus tax. No big deal. And then when it comes back, we'll let you know. But it's gonna be like first or second week of April before you get that sucker back. But Todd's gonna hand deliver it. We're gonna put it in a short box. And we're gonna drive it all the way down there, and then we're gonna drive it all the way back.
Well, I know
So
for a fact the Mills only has one book, and it's mine.
I was gonna say it's yours, isn't it?
Because Scott had to
Nice,
print out all the forms I had to put down in there. And
nice.
I was like, wow, I was like, apparently nobody wants these autographs for $5. I'm like, that's a steal nowadays, you know.
It
It's
is.
and
It is considering like normally I think they charge $20. So um,
that's still
and you'll get an NDC like certificate of authenticity COA. So because Todd will sign all the ones to say that he saw them actually do it because he'll have lunch with them while he does it, so he'll know. All right, let's talk comics because I have a bunch of cool stuff to sell tonight on Whatnot. I have a bunch of $10 books, a bunch of variants we got in a collection. Basically, I'm selling a bunch of $10 books for $7 a piece. It's gonna be great before they go out into the stores. So my first book tonight is The News Zatanna #1. This book is by uh hold on, let me find it. Maybe. Of course, you're probably at the end. Maybe. Uh, yep. Jamal Campbell uh did pretty much all of it, actually.
So
Um, yeah.
I,
Which is actually kind of cool because Campbell's art's pretty good. I mostly love his art. Um, the writing is a little meh, but it's getting there. It's getting
I was gonna say it's impressive.
there.
Nobody just does one book by themselves anymore. That's almost unheard
Right,
of nowadays. So
right.
I give him props just for that.
I just love the art. Like,
Yeah.
and he does a bunch of different styles in here, which is kind of cool. Um, so
The
it starts
cover
off
looks
with like
very
a
Hughes.
what's that?
His cover is very Adam Hughes like.
Yeah, well, his whole style is very Adam Hughes.
Mm.
Um, so it starts off with a story that's gonna lead into a Zatara problem that Zatanna's gonna have to fix later. Duh. That's how almost every Zatanna book starts. And then it's boom, she's doing a magic show in some place and she's practicing for the show with her crew. And their crew sees this picture of the White Lady, and the White Lady sucks them into this painting, and then they go into this painting, and she's got to fight the White Lady to get her crew back. And there's some really freaking awesome art, and there's a whole bunch of backwards speak, and it's awesome. And it's actually very cool. The art, the sequences of the art are amazing. There are just moments in this where I was just like just taken away by the art, and I kind of forgot to read, and I had to go back. um, because it's very like Campbell also has like this almost J.H. Williams vibe at parts. So if you like the Batwoman elegy style stuff, it's got kind of that kind of vibe to it, which is what I like.
Mm.
Um, just the story's just a little all over the place right now. It's like it doesn't quite flow yet to me. But there's some cool shit that goes on. Like there's a part where she catches a bullet in her teeth. Um, like it's just awesome. Like there's another moment where she makes the White Lady's mouth disappear and is kind of like shut the fuck up, like when I'm talking. Like um And like I think the part that actually like that I love the most about this book is in the art where like where she draw or where they draw Zatanna's legs. Like there's actually definition in the muscle tone. Like you can even see it in the cover. Like it's not just like, oh, there's thigh. It's like multiple thigh muscle tones there, you
Yeah,
know?
you can tell, like I'm looking at it right now, like her thighs, you could see at least two different muscle groups there.
Right.
That's the way
But
a leg
that's
is supposed to look, you know?
right. But it's like that the whole way through the book in every character.
Good.
Like, yeah, and it's awesome. Um, so I really, um, I really dug it. Um, I really also love the fact that the title of this issue was called A Moonlit Blade, and it's spelled backwards at the end, and then the to be continued is backwards at the end.
Hmm.
Um, but the art has really kind of grabbed me with this book. So I'm giving this book uh I'm gonna give this book like a 9 out of 10. Or I'm sorry, 9 out of 12 eggs. Um and it's mostly because the story is a little all over the place, but if it were a little more coherent, just a little bit more, I would like it. But I think it's got enough potential that that it's gonna go somewhere really good. And I'm very impressed with it. I think that, like I said, it's got vibes, all these Batwoman vibes for me that I'm really enjoying. That I'm gonna probably fall in love with. Because I love Zatanna. I think she's a great character. I also love that she's wearing like the stockings again. Like while I do love Zatanna in pants, I always love the traditional look as well. So, but anyway, your turn.
All right, we got Rats number 11. Um, let's see, we got Dr. Boz. He ends up remaking slash resurrecting Dr. Emmon from the very beginning. If you guys remember Dr. Emmon, he was he got killed by Peter, like after he had kind of his berserk rage with the Spawn symbiote the first time around. He gets remade into this like really badass looking cyber body, and he's going to track Quinn and Peter, who are currently hiding out in a homeless community in Jersey. Um, and they start they're just trying to hide out and trying to lay low. Well, there's a few of the individuals in the community are starting to question who these guys are because they just kind of appeared. They don't recognize them. Um, Peter goes off to figure out like how he's trying to deal with everything because there's still blanks in his head from his transformation, and he's just trying to figure out what the heck is going on. Meanwhile, Quinn is trying to hold everything together. But as he's doing that, he gets confronted by one of the homeless guys, to the point where the guy starts getting physical with Quinn. And as just before everything starts getting ugly, here comes Dr. Ammon just plowing through these homeless people like nobody's business. Um, till he detects where Peter is, um, finds Peter, grabs him. They're in midair. Uh, Quinn's trying to go after him. Of course, he's on the ground. Um, Peter's fighting Dr. Ammon, and then Ammon just drops him right on top of a tree stump. So you just see the stump going through him. And that's basically how this book ends. It's kind of a very stopgap. Like the first 10 issues have been nonstop, and this was kind of the what is the next spin of the story here? I feel like that's where it's going. Um, I will give this 7 eggs out of 12. I mean, it's a lot of filler because it's a lot of the, you know, Peter trying to figure himself out. And yeah, you got to see Dr. Emmon kind of be like the new, you know, a new resurrected bad guy for the cyber spawn to fight. You know, it is what it is. Not very exciting until maybe next issue. The art is still good. I am not going to complain. This is still one of my favorite books of the last. This is year 2 of it, so uh, I'm still enjoying it. So if it took issue 11 to start kind of slowing down, I give it that's pretty good considering
right?
a lot of Spawn stuff slows down well before that one. So
Well, from one Erica Schultz book to another Erica Schultz book. It's Erica Schultz week. Laura Kinney Wolverine. I know you're not a big fan of this book, but I'm actually kind of digging this book. Um,
I
so
it's not the book itself, to be honest. I think it's just they
you just
keep
don't like
redoing
Laura?
X-23 too much.
Okay.
The
So
the the series before
yeah.
really bad. It really reeked, and it's so sad because I liked All New Wolverine a few years ago, and I love that story. Like from one
Wait,
to
wait, wait, wait. Which X-23 run? Because there were two.
both of them were bad. They
Okay.
were both bad. That I think that's the problem is either keep her as all new Wolverine or keep her as X-23. Don't do the back and forth, you know?
Well, I think she's Wolverine again, and I think she's
Yeah,
staying Wolverine now. So at least for now, until never mind.
until
I'm not
they
gonna go
change.
there. Yeah. I'm gonna not go there. So oh, Grant's in the chat. What's up, buddy? What's up? All right. So this picks up right where the last one left off. Actually goes slightly before that. So the bomb mutant, they show the bomb mutant getting injected with basically something that will hyperactivate his explosion. They basically send him out of a truck into the crowd. Laura jumps on him, he blows up, and she's kind of reacting to the explosion of, when I was resurrected on Krakoa, they really messed me up. They gave me a full adamantium skeleton, and I was a little bit pissed about that. But now I'm good. I was a little bit weirded out by the extra weight. Swimming was a little rough, but I will forgive them for that now. And you just see her hands, like of adamantium, growing back flesh. Like
Yeah.
it's like this really great couple of frames. And then Electra kind of like takes her and they run back to her apartment and she kind of regenerates on Electra's couch. Luke Cage is screaming at them. Uh, they once she's finally recovered, they go and um, they get they go and find Bomb Kid who's in the hospital. Bomb Kid tells them like what he saw, what he heard. They realize that it's this pastry place, which makes them kind of pissed because they actually heard this pastry place had really good like chocolate something. Um, and so they go, they find the guy. He's got C4 strapped to his chest. Um, they uh they take him out. Um, there's some really fucking awesome art in here. Like there's some awesome shots of like Laura jumping, and her hair is so long that it
Mhm.
just like surrounds her whole body, and it just looks so cool.
Hmm.
Um, and I just love it. I just do. I just love it.
Oh,
Um,
the art is excellent. That's I
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
like I like more story, like when it comes to Laura, because Laura has such an awesome origin and all that. And I
Yeah.
feel like they kind of tread water with her. Her and Dak and both, they tread so much water and it it blows my mind. It was like, oh, we could give Wolverine these all these different things going on. And like, but his kids are like, we'll write him in something. We'll think of something
Right.
off the top of our head and we'll just stick him in there.
I like I really enjoy what they did with this. So basically they kind of solve that part. Laura goes into one of Wolverine's safe houses. Um, the door starts, rattling, and she's like, I smell old man aftershave. And you know, she she attacks the guy who comes in. Guy wails her against the wall, turns the light on, and she's like, "What the hell are you doing here?" And he goes, "I heard you. I heard about the work you've been doing, Wolverine. I heard you could use some help." And she's like, "I'm not looking to start a revolution." He goes, "Oh, I don't know. You'd be surprised how much fun a revolution can be." And it's Bucky Barnes. So that's the next part of the thing, where she's gonna get together with Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. So um, I kind of like it because it's like little mini stories, and
Yeah.
it's not too hard of a big story. And it's just kind of like fun. I wish the stories were a little bit longer, but I also like it because you're not investing too hard into it. Um, so it's almost like kind of like how Wolverine's life is, where it's like he's on like a million different teams, so you kind of see him like bounce and bounce and bounce. So it's very similar to that. So I'm gonna give this book I'm also gonna give this book 9 out of 12, like the last book, and it's mostly because um I think the story, like it's the third issue, and it's the second part of the second story. The art has been fantastic. The writing is pretty solid, but again, it's not one big giant chunk story. So I
Mhm.
don't really know where the main actual story is going. Like I don't know if it's going to be like if this is eventually going to have like an undertone of, oh, like they're actually hunting all these like mutant fighting people, or like what's actually the main thing here. But I liked her team up with Daredevil. Um, I liked her. I like how they're writing her in this story. I like that she's kind of like just like a fucking asshole. Like it reminds me so much of Wolverine. Like it's like of
Okay.
Logan Wolverine,
Yeah.
that I love it. I love it. So that's why I like it. So but yeah, that's where I'm at with this book. Oh,
Uh,
look, another Wolverine. So we went from Schultz to Schultz to Wolverine to Wolverine. Good job. Good job. Way to go. And by the way, I didn't even have to swap stuff around today to make it your book, my book. I just went whoop, and I went, oh, look, your book, my book, your book, my book, your book, my book. Good. Yay.
Here is Ultimate Wolverine #2 from the Ultimate Universe. Now, you want to talk about art? The art in this is it's so good. Like that alone gives it like 7 eggs. Like, and it's not, and it's the story actually is just as good. Um, we find out like this is kind of the origin of how he became Wolverine became the Winter Soldier, at least as far as how he got to be, um, how the maker manipulated it to become that. Because we find out the maker found out where Professor Cornelius was researching, and at first it was very cordial, until the maker's like, well, I'm gonna make a better world, And Cornelius is like, well, there's no such thing as a perfect world. And the maker laughed and he said, I didn't say perfect. I just said better. And he ended up just takes his finger right through Cornelius's head. Just it's a really cool shot too. Like the
That's
panel
awesome.
is pretty cool. And then he sets fire, so the entire Weapon X program burned to the ground. All research and everything destroyed.
Nice.
Now we get fast forward to a group of soldiers in the woods, and of course Wolverine doing his thing, killing some, and then disappearing. Then we get flashed to another um, meeting between the leader Colossus, his sister Magic, and um, Omega Red, and they're
Hold on,
talking.
hold on. I got a question.
Hmm,
Does this Colossus also have a beard?
yes, he does.
Fuck yeah. All right, cool.
Evil Colossus always has a beard.
I love Evil Colossus only because he has a beard.
Yeah,
Like bearded Colossus is the better Colossus in my opinion.
he's more dynamic. We'll put it that way. Um, but they basically are talking about putting Wolverine down, and of course, the scientist who worked on everything was like, "But he's done all these successful missions for you. Why you want to like kill him?" And they're like, "Well, we noticed that there's some abnormalities in his uh, sleep, and there's some flaws because he'll hesitate from time to time. Very similar in what happens in the Weapon X program series, where he does what he's told to do, but there are moments of clarity.
Yeah.
And of course, Colossus is like, well, there's only one way to deal with this, and he just grabs Wolverine out of his little hyperbolic chamber that they have him trapped in, just beats the piss out of him. Like, just, just grabs him by the throat, smacks him around.
Puny God style.
Yeah, yeah. And he's like, okay, now he's like, we're going to get some of our best soldiers, and we're going to put a test. It's either our soldiers win or he wins. And that's it. So we're flashed forward where there's still a large group of soldiers still looking for Wolverine. Well, they're like, well, what happened? Because they don't know what happened to the two or three guys that were attacked earlier. They're like, oh, it must be the Winter Soldier, and they're like, well, he's just a myth, hence, because that was the whole spiel about the Winter Soldier was, hey, he's a myth, he doesn't exist. Um, well, Wolverine does his thing, and there are several panels of him doing his wolf stealth, leaping from tree to tree, and the art in this is so good. And I have to say, the outfit and everything is really growing on me. This may be the next Wolverine design that I want tattooed on me.
There you go.
Um, so what he does at the end of the book, he pretty much kills all the um, soldiers, all beheads them, drags the head to this little camera that's sitting in like they were surveilling him. So he finds a camera, drops all the heads in front of the camera, looks in the camera, and just slashes the camera. And they're like, well, he passed the test, I'm like, and that's the way the book ends. And I'm like, oh,
Wow.
so good. I'm giving this a 12. This is a
Wow.
this this series is going to be that one of those ultimate series you have to have. And I think it's only 4 books. So it's not very long. It is
Yeah.
really good. It's really good. Even if you're not into the Ultimate Universe, just get these 4 books. It's
Right.
really awesome story, really good art. So
Nice. All right. Well, my next book
nice.
is X Factor 7 with this amazing Greg Land cover. It's awesome. Anyway, um,
Greg
so this
Land
is a
does
time
do really good X-Men.
he does. It is a great One World Under Doom cover. Um, anyway, so this kind of picks up where Havoc got booted off the team. Well, he kind of got kidnapped and then stuff. So they have a meeting and they're like, "Hey, have you seen the news?" And it's really funny because the young kids are like, "What the hell?" Like they're like, "Do you mean like on cable, like on TV?" And they're like, "Pyro, can you turn on the TV?" And he's like, "I know I'm old. Hold on." And he like turns the TV on, and it's like the Doom thing, and they're like, "At midnight tonight, Doctor Doom is taking over the world." And they're like, "Holy shit!" So you find out Genosha has been rebuilt as Gigosha, which is the island has basically been built by is an entirely algorithmic based island and run by a supercomputer called the Paperclip. So the team has to go and destroy the Paperclip, and they're meeting a Chechen team of mutants to help them do that. And Angel ends up being their team leader again um, because Havoc isn't there. Um, so there's some really great scenes where like Pyro blows some shit up and Angel flies through stuff and um, like people get electrocuted and one of the Chechen guys is named Strychnine and it's because he gives off like a poison gas the whole time. Um, then you find out the people of Gigosha, when they get there, their whole thing is to live there, they have to sign over their rights to live by putting a chip in their brain. And because the Gigosha is under attack, it activates their chip and they all basically become zombies to attack X Factor. So they're attacking X Factor. The Chechens the steal the paperclip. Um, all hell breaks loose. The Chechens get all the way back to their plane because they're supposed to destroy it, but they were going to sell it back to Doctor Doom. They get back to their plane, and the newest member of X Factor, who actually is an old member of X Factor, but everyone forgets that he's there because his name is Forget Me Not. Um, uh, steals the plane with it in there, or he steals the plane, leaving them there. Um, So they're kind of fucked. Doom actually ends up kind of getting the paperclip at the end. And the team actually gets back. Um, uh, so they kind of save the day, but they don't in the same rate. So I'm giving this book 10 out of 12. Um, mostly because it took a hell of a long time for this book to come out because like the first volume or the second volume I think was the second 5 books. And it just took a long time for this issue to come out. But really, uh, I really enjoyed it. I love Angel. I love X Factor. I love the art of this book. I love the fact that Forget Me Not was in this book because like the whole point of Forget Me Not is that his power is they forget who he is like the whole time. Like he'll be like, "Hey guys," and they'll be like, "Who's this guy?" Like I don't remember his name. And then he's like, it's Forget Me Not. And then like he'll be there, they'll like forget that he's there. And like if you look at his history, he actually was like at Age of Apocalypse, he was at like all kinds of like main events. And like Professor X actually like implanted a thing to remember him every hour in his brain so he would know that he was there. Like it was crazy. Um so it was really good. It was a lot of fun. I love that Forget Me Not's back. So I love these. Like I love dumb, stupid characters, and when they put them on this team, it's great, and that's why I love this fucking book. So
Right, we got Rep X-Men #1. Now, I was kind of waiting for this one because I wasn't going to be sure if this was going to be good, bad, otherwise. You know, I was grabbing it because it had Wolverine in it, but I was hoping that, maybe there would be more to it. But it does start off, Wolverine is talking to a guy in the bar, and I want to say they're in Paris. Uh, they're in Paris, and
American Wolverine in Paris.
yeah, and he's telling this guy at the bar who doesn't understand a word he's saying about how somebody's trying to find at adamantium,
Yeah, adamantium.
and like it's kind of like
Mhm.
a spin-off of what's going on in all the other books. So like Doom's taken over the world, so that's in there. There is, his thing of trying to find what is going on with going after this. Um, and he finds like one of the Reavers, like secondary Reaver character, where he's completely stripped down and murdered. Um, and then Wolverine, after the bar, goes into an elevator and someone tries to kill him through gas, and then uh, cuts the elevator, so the elevator comes crashing down in the lobby. And of course, he survives it. Um, so we find Wolverine showering, and who shows up in the shower? Deadpool. Um, and Wolverine's like, "What the heck are you doing here?" And Deadpool's like, "What? Can a buddy visit a buddy?" And the whole,
Making it weird. I got it.
always. Well, Wolverine starts going, "Well, he's like, I got sprayed with something, and I'm not quite. I feel like my body's still kind of trying to get it out of my system." Um, but as this was getting explained, here comes Cable pulling up in a helicopter, telling Wolverine, "Hey, I need you for a mutant rescue mission." And Wolverine's like, "Okay." So then there's Cable, Deadpool, and Wolverine. And of course, Deadpool doing his thing while Wolverine and Cable are trying to be serious. They stop in London to find Chamber, who I totally forgot about Chamber.
I love Chamber. He's
When
another one of those like
When's the last
really
time
like
he really was used though? It's been
right. That's what I'm saying. He's one of those characters that like he's another one of those characters where it's like he is super powerful, but you
yeah.
never ever see him used because like he is that powerful, right?
Yeah, so they find him in a London bar, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna go rescue on a rescue mission. We need you." Of course, he's being, I don't know if I want to do this, that, and the other. And as they're flying to on this rescue mission, this is where Weapon X-Men comes from. It's literally Deadpool going, "Hey, we're all weapons, we're all X-Men, so why don't we just the Weapon X-Men?" And then he starts like going, it's like, boy, all the creators on all the different X titles in the comic world, it's like, why didn't they think of this title? It seems so simple. I was like, you breaking the fourth wall.
Wow.
He starts listing all the creators too. He's just like, Claremont didn't think of it. So and so didn't
Wow.
think of it. I'm like, okay, there's the comedy. So they go and they travel and they're in Lavaria. And Chambers like, wait a minute. He's like, isn't aren't we in the country that the dude now owns the entire world? And Cable's like, well, he's like, he's over somewhere else. We're okay for right now, but we have to go and retrieve this mutant signature I'm trying to find and figure out what's going on. Well, they start following a trail of all these servo doom guards
Hmm.
that are all busted to hell. Um, and you find out they find this battle going on. It's Thunderbird in his original costume from back in giant X-size days.
What?
He's destroying these servos. Well, Wolverine comes up to him and is like, "Hey, yeah, what's his name? John? I think his
Yeah.
name's." And he turns around and he just gut punches Wolverine, and Wolverine just collapses over, and they're like, "Hey, and John snaps out of his rage, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't mean to," and he starts running away. Cable and Chamber go after him, and Wolverine's like, I gotta let the my healing factors off, and he got punched me real good. He's like, I'll catch up. Well, Deadpool stays with him. Well, you find out after all this time, it was Deadpool trying to kill Wolverine. Well, not kill him, but capture him, because he's hired for a job.
Mm.
Chamber and Cable catch up to Thunderbird. And so, what are you doing here? We got to get you out of here because you're in danger. And Thunderbird's like, oh, I'm on a mission. I got to do this, blah, blah, blah. And as they're in the middle of that, Deadpool destroys Cable's helicopter, uh, subdues Wolverine in a very badass way. And Zips contacts his uh, employer, and we find out at the end of the book his employer is Baron von Strucker, and they
Oh,
want Wolverine for his skeletal.
Jesus.
So, conclusion, our next issue is going to be where this goes from. It
Nice.
wasn't bad. It was a lot of really cool, like everything was connecting.
Hmm.
Um, we can I feel like there's way too much Deadpool and Wolverine, even for me. And I'm just
Hmm.
like, wow. I was like, you guys maybe stop. And even Deadpool said in the book, he's like, feels like we're doing a lot of these. It's like probably just to make money, but still, there's a lot of you and me in
Yep.
this.
Yep.
So I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 12. I'm not gonna
Okay.
give it a full dozen because again, I feel like we have way too much Deadpool and Wolverine right now. But other than that, I have to say this is probably one of the better uh because we don't know where what everything is connected to yet. Plus, you're adding Cable and Thunderbird and Chamber, and I want to see where they fit in on this. But
Yeah.
it was a
That's
pretty
awesome.
good book though, and the art was excellent. So
Cool. All right. I have two things real quick before we get out of here. One, I see you finally put your Wolverine that I gave you for Christmas up on your shelf over
it's
there.
beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I didn't notice it last week because I think your chair was like in front of it. So,
Yeah.
um, you never thanked me for that, by the way. Anyway, um,
Totally did.
secondly, no, I'm pretty sure you didn't. Anyway, um, secondly, I did see Captain America: Brave New World. Um, so my spoiler-free review is that if you liked the show, it's basically a very long episode. Um, with a Red Hulk fight. Um, the highlights are the Red Hulk fight. There's a couple cameos. There's a couple cameos that you have to know who the character is to get the cameo. Because I was like, that can't be that guy. That cannot be that guy. No fucking way did they put that guy in this goddamn movie. And then after I left, because I shut my phone off during the movie because I'm not that guy, right? So after everything went, I was like, motherfucker, that really was that guy. Holy shit. I'm like, I knew it. Sea level guy. There he is. Actually, he's even further down the chain. Um, but it was that was kind of cool. there were some really good fight scenes, but it was very militant. There was not a lot of humor. So if you were looking for like more the Guardian style or more like
Ant-Man.
the Ant-Man style, like that, this is not the movie for you.
This is not a
I
family friendly movie. Oh, not it.
I but I also will tell you that like there were a lot of people that were like, "Oh, it's like this parody of Trump and blah blah blah." It's not. It really was not. It actually was more like the actual comic. Uh where like Thunderbolt Ross ends up becoming the Red Hulk because that's like where he's kind of like tricked into becoming the Red Hulk, and
Yeah.
that's really the movie. That's really the plot of the movie. Um and it really they did it well. I thought they did it really well. Harrison Ford makes a great Thunderbolt Ross. Um,
Be interesting to see how long he can keep it up because he's not
yeah,
young.
it's not exactly young either.
If
Yeah,
he
right.
if he passes
Um,
away, we're going for a third Thunderbolt Ross before
well,
we get a second Black Panther.
what's really funny is like they they actually do like they do a flashback of him like freaking out and yelling, and they actually have him with a mustache in it because of that. Like, and then like because they make like comments about like I'm still getting used to this look of you, and he's like, yeah, they told me like lose the mustache or lose the election, like that kind of stuff. And so they kind of like made it to where like they kind of justified the look
Yeah,
uh like to make the change while also kind of being like you're obviously not William Hurt.
yeah.
um there are some other cameos. I said to somebody like this is like the poor man's Winter Soldier mixed with the Incredible Hulk movie. So like so if you can figure out how to make that work in your brain, that's this movie.
That made me
So
hurt, actually.
it's like because it's very political in the minds of like militant political like how Captain or like how Winter Soldier was,
Yeah,
but it also has a lot of Incredible Hulk stuff.
yeah,
Like it
I,
ties up a lot of the loose ends from Incredible Hulk, which
yeah.
is great. So it's a little bit of mix of those two movies, and a lot of people probably forgot about a lot of the stuff that went on in Incredible Hulk because it's been forever since you probably watched that movie.
Sure.
Um, so it was kind of cool. I do know that like they switched out um the girl that was gonna play Diamondback for the guy who then ended up playing Sidewinder. Like, and I was like, so you switched out one of the Serpent Society for another, but okay. Um, whatever. Like, oh, okay. But I think they did that because originally I think they were supposed to bring in a lot more Betty Ross and have her become Red Hulk and have her fight her too, but that never happened.
Hmm.
Um, so because I think Liv Tyler couldn't do like make a lot of that happen. So, um, but there is some cool stuff. I definitely did not put it on the top half of the Marvel universe, but it definitely is not at the bottom. Um, it's probably about
I heard it's average. Like, if
yeah. It's
you're
like it's
if
it's
you're a
it's
fan,
like it's like on the lower half of the two-thirds. It's like above a third, but not on the higher but just above a third,
yeah.
right? Like it's in that three-quarter down chunk, right? Like below the half, but not at the bottom of the barrel.
Put it this way,
So
thinking of like think of like the movies that I think of, like Ant-Man 2. Is it better than Ant-Man 2?
I actually really enjoyed Ant-Man 2. Actually, I think I actually enjoyed Ant-Man 2 more than I liked Ant-Man 1, to be honest.
Hmm.
Um,
I know a lot of people were disappointed in Ant-Man 2. And that was
well,
a
Ant-Man 3 people were really disappointed in.
yeah, Ant-Man 3 was just a they
Ant-Man 3 they just tried to do a lot in. And it was a lot like I think it was better than Ant-Man 3. I think it was better than uh Incredible Hulk. I think it was better than Thor Dark World. It was better
Okay.
than um
So it's better than most of the letdowns of
yeah, like it wasn't a bad like it was like Iron Man 3, right? Like it was
okay.
like you're like okay, it's a sequel, but it's not the best sequel.
Yeah. And it had awesome moments, but it
And I
was
will tell you, it has one very specific thing that happens in there that will lead to a very big thing that happens in the MCU later.
oh
And
yeah.
you specifically are going to be very fucking pumped about this thing.
Oh, I'm sure. I know.
You,
I
you.
know. I know. Well, I know like the is it spoiler if it's already kind of known that
I, I, I don't know. Okay, this is the part where we're going to talk about a spoiler because Justin wants to know the spoiler, and then I got
well
to go do my
I
whatnot.
I
So,
I
so
know because they've talked it's been talked about that the um Eternal movie, the we finally figure out the body is made out of metal and the metal is adamantium.
well, sort of. So
Is that the
Cersei,
spoiler?
so Cersei turned the body into adamantium.
Yes.
And the whole plot is, or part of the plot is, Japan is getting is try like the Japan, the US, and two other nations are trying to claim Celestial Island and get a control of adamantium.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, well, Japan, there here comes Silver Samurai, here comes Wolverine. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
So I was like, here's how we're gonna do it.
That is the door that is opening the door. I figured that
Yep.
much. Like as soon as they mentioned that, I'm like, yeah, that's going to be a thing, which is fine. I'm cool with
Yep.
that.
Yeah,
Now
I
we
was like, oh,
find
that's a great way to do that. So
now we got to find out who's going to be the new Wolverine because it's not going to be Hugh Jackman. Come on,
that's right. Well, they got some
he's not going to
time.
be doing it till
So
90. Even if he's going to be a
yeah.
jacked 90-year-old, I don't think anybody wants to see
I
that.
don't I don't think we're gonna get I don't honestly I don't think we're gonna get X-Men in the MCU for another 10 years. So
Yeah, so he's going to be
um
well in retirement at that point.
yeah. So
He
all
could
right,
play
guys.
a
Well,
good old man Logan, but
right?
yeah.
All right. Well, I got 10 minutes before I gotta get on to the whatnot sale. I will catch you guys later. Make sure you guys come out and check out uh check us out. Come hang out with us. I'll be at the Mills Saturday and Sunday if anyone wants to come out and hang out with me. I know Justin will be there on Sunday. You can give us high fives. You can get both of us high fives. It'll be good. Other than that, yeah. Support your local comic shop. If it's us, cool. If it's not, also cool. If it's us, even cooler. And just keep at it. Keep reading. Keep supporting it, man. It's what we do. It's how we keep our lights on. It's how we keep it living. It's also great to learn to read. And keep that up. So yeah, catch everybody later and have a great weekend.